Have you ever looked at a landscape and just thought, wow, there is nothing here? Just a world of shifting sand and relentless wind. But if you look closer, this seemingly empty desert in South Africa holds some incredible secrets to survival. It's actually a hidden paradise, forged by some of the harshest conditions you can imagine. Okay, let's dive in. So to really get this place, we're not going to start with a plant. We're going to start with a person. Because the story of this desert is, well, it's a human story. It's about a personal legacy passed down through generations who learned to read all its subtle clues. Yeah, the author of our source material, his family's roots here run just as deep as the plants we're about to meet. They didn't just live here, they depended on this land. They had to learn which plants could heal, which ones they could eat, and, of course, which ones were poisonous. And this is what they called home. Just endless sand, constantly being reshaped by the wind. It's a place of absolute extremes, where life doesn't just happen. Nope, it has to fight for every single day. Okay, so how extreme is extreme? Let's actually put some numbers on it because, honestly, they paint a pretty wild picture of what it takes to even exist in the Kortdooring Vlakte. Get this, 47 millimeters. That's it. That is the average rainfall for an entire year. It's what makes this the driest place in all of South Africa. I mean, to put that in perspective, we're talking less than 2 inches of rain annually. And then you've got the wind. The highest speed they ever clocked here was a blistering 184 kilometers an hour. But it's not just the top speed, it's that it's constant. In the summer, winds over 70 kilometers an hour, that's just a regular weekly thing, turning the air into a literal sandstorm. So you might be asking yourself, with almost no rain, where on earth does the water come from? Well, here's the secret. On more than 200 nights a year, this thick coastal fog rolls in from the Atlantic. And this isn't just weather, it's the lifeline. This fog is the main source of moisture and the secret ingredient for all life out here. So think about it. How do you possibly survive in a place with no rain and constant sandstorms? Well, you evolve, you get clever. And the plants here have developed some of the most ingenious survival strategies on the entire planet. This brings us to this awesome concept, the samophyte. Their strategy is so simple, it's brilliant. It's kind of like if you can't beat the sand, you join it. These plants have a sticky surface that lets them build their very own coat of armor out of sand grains. And this sand shield is like a Swiss Army knife for survival. It protects the plant's soft tissue from getting shredded by the wind. It makes them gritty and totally unappetizing to any animal looking for a snack. And on top of all that, it even helps reflect the intense desert sun. Pretty smart, huh? And check this out. This is that strategy in action. On one side, you see the tough, sand-caked leaves of the Strumaria bidentata, and on the other, the beautiful, delicate flower that all that gritty armor allows to bloom. It's a perfect example of toughness protecting beauty. Okay, so wearing armor is one way to do it, but it's not the only trick in the book. Other plants have mastered a totally different art, the art of just disappearing. They survive by staying small, hugging the ground, and staying out of the wind's way. All right, take a good look at this. At first glance, it just looks like a bunch of rocks and gravel, right? But I promise you, there is life in there, hiding in plain sight. There it is. That's a Lithops hairy, also known as a living stone. And you can see why. It has evolved to perfectly mimic the look and feel of the quartz pebbles all around it, which makes it almost impossible for predators to spot. But then, the moment those rare rains finally arrive, this master of disguise drops the act completely. It just erupts with these stunning, vibrant flowers. It's basically shouting, "Here I am," for that tiny little window of time it has to reproduce. And if you thought that was extreme, some species take it even further. For them, camouflage just isn't enough. They take hiding to a whole other level, choosing to spend almost their entire lives safely buried beneath the sand. This strategy is the ultimate waiting game. These plants build these complex, tough stem systems completely underground, where they're safe from the wind and the sun, and there they just wait, sometimes for years, just waiting for the absolute perfect conditions to make a brief appearance. I mean, look at this. This is a Pelargonium cibthorpifolium. It honestly looks like the flower is just growing directly out of the bare sand, like magic. But underneath, that's where the hidden engine of the plant lies, patiently waiting to send up this beautiful temporary signal to the world. Okay, so let's pull back and see how this all comes together. When you combine all these incredible adaptations, you start to see this desert not as a barren wasteland, but as something else entirely. And this, right here, is the key takeaway. The extreme wind, the lack of rain, the intense sun, these aren't just challenges to be overcome. They are the very forces that have sculpted these unique and fascinating life forms. The harshness is the very reason for their genius. So the next time you see a landscape that looks empty, remember the Kortdooring Vlakte. Because what appears to be nothing is, in fact, a thriving paradise of resilience. It's home to roughly 250 different species of plants, and every single one is a master of survival. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If a sand-blasted desert can hide such a rich and complex world, what other marvels are we walking past every day? What other secrets are hidden right under our feet, just waiting for us to look a little closer?